Hey, Rio here, and welcome to CIT94 Node.js at Fresno City, 100% online on the what we refer to as the back nine of the fall 2019 semester. So I had sent out a message, and matter of fact, you can find first message sent to students that were enrolled below the welcome message. So below this message, you will see another one. And that's where I talked about what the students in the course prior to this one. And so if you're like thinking there was a course prior to this one, there was. And these courses are intended to be taken one after the other. But I know there's a pretty good sized group of you that didn't take CIT 93. So what does that mean? So that means if you don't have any JS, any JavaScript experience at all, then you're going to level up pretty quickly in this class. And I have had students do that. So, but just to tell you, the intent was that you take 93, you get the base JavaScript in the browser, and then you take 94, this class, and you get Node.js, which is JavaScript on the server. So that is the intent. But trust me, if you don't have any, and you might wonder, well, how was I able to enroll if I didn't have it? Well, we actually don't make 93 as a prerequisite simply because there are many people from the industry, from that have some experience or just want to level up and don't feel like they need the 93. But I try to make it clear from the beginning that that is an important part to having some, and I say JavaScript, that would obviously be the best, but some kind of coding experience, right? This is not intended to be your first coding course. But again, and I have to keep saying this, I have had students take this class that have had no coding experience, and they definitely had to spend a bit of their time leveling up. Okay. So I'm not discouraging. I'm just trying to be giving you realistic information about this class and so that you can get the most out of it. That's really the intent. So in addition to having had some coding experience, this class is 9 weeks, right? So this is a 9-unit, not, sorry, 9-unit. That'd be horrible. That'd be a real challenge. 4-unit, 9-week class. So it is accelerated, right? And if you are somebody that is interested in that accelerated mode, this shall work well for you. But if you're somebody that doesn't, you may find this challenging, right? And I'm about to show you the schedule, which you can see, by the way, if you wanted to go over and look at calendar, and you can see the schedule for the next 9 weeks of our class, of our time together. But just for kicks, let me go over here and show you. So this is the course as I have it scheduled. Somewhat tentative, but pretty strongly scheduled. So every Monday night, and you're going to feel this, like you're going to actually have an item due the first night of the semester. And luckily, it's not a huge amount of work. It's more just getting your local environment set up. And I'll look at that in just a moment before I end. But just know that every Monday night, you're going to have a part of the Udemy course. And if you don't know what I mean, this course is actually the course on Udemy that once you sign up should be relatively inexpensive. Most students have paid $11 or $12 for it. So it's a really great course and it's really reasonably priced. And I love that about it. And it's taught by a professional developer who has also got teaching experience. So those Monday night, for those Monday nights code ups, I call them. I have scheduled which of them we're going to cover for every week of the semester. And then on Thursday of that week, we will take the concepts you're learning, and we will help you move towards what is and another very important part of this class called the Develop It. Now, I'm actually going to have a whole video where I talk more about this concept later, but more than anything, I want you to know, Monday nights you watch Udemy, and you not only watch, you code along. So you actually have to write code, check that code into GitHub, and give me links. And then on Thursday night after week 1, because week 1 we're just getting you ready, but after that, then we'll actually start helping you work towards your develop it projects, of which there are 2. But every week there are 2 items, and in some weeks, and this is, I just want to make sure you're on the same page. Like when we have a develop it 0, that means we have 3 big things that week, this being the biggest. And from a grading perspective, 25% comes from coding along the Udemy course, 25% comes from the Learn Together code that you do, and 50% comes from here. And what you see in that distribution of grades is really the emphasis that I place on you actually being able to translate what you're learning by creating something, because you'll hear me say this in this course, but it's really from creating something that you learn the most and you really own those skills. Okay. So that's the way this course is laid out. There is, and I can see it over here, there's a class chat that you can get on and ask myself or your other classmates questions that you may run into. Great place to get support is there. And then you can see the week 1 is laid out. And as a matter of fact, what I have already laid out for this course is all these code ups, right? So that, again, the encouragement that you could work, if your schedule allows, you can work ahead a little bit on the code ups. And the reason I say this, and I believe I'm repeating here, but if you work ahead on the code up, and then during that week when we're actually taking what you're learning and giving you some more skill, when you go back and look at that code, it is another level of understanding, because once you have a little distance from that code that you've written, if you can go back and understand what it's doing, then it helps you really deepen that knowledge that you're gaining of what that code is doing. So FYI, that's my thinking here. And ultimately, creating something is, I think, the most important skill you walk away with for a class like this. So leaving you with these concepts, Node.js, JavaScript on the server side, as gaining a huge amount of popularity. And I'm excited to teach it. This is the 3rd time I've actually taught it. This is the first time I've taught it purely online and in a 9-week mode. So that's going to be different. But I'm excited to teach it because it is just fun to teach such a relevant programming language in this world that we're in. And you might, if you don't know anything about Node.js, there's a couple things you want to know. It's and by the way, Andrew's going to talk about it in section 1 and 2, so I don't want to go over any of his duplicate. But one of the reasons I think Node.js is gaining huge popularity is, imagine if you're a web developer and you're already having to know and understand and have to write JavaScript code on the client side. So imagine if you can translate that existing knowledge and ability that you have on the client side, translate that into the server. That allows you to come up to speed much quicker to do the things we need to do on servers, like write files, make API calls, create APIs ourselves. So developers can take what they already know and move it to the server side and level up much quicker, which is why I believe Node.js. One of the reasons, there are many, but it's a huge community, right? A huge community writing Node code. So the community is great. The ability to translate what you have on the client to the server is awesome. So anyway, I'm excited you're here. I wanted to give you an overview of the course to get you started. Let me just, before I leave though, I do want to click on this section, because I do say this in here that these first 2 videos are from my 93 class that I've been talking about. But I have gone through and updated the written information here to indicate ours. And the thing you're going to need to send to me, right? That's the important thing, is you need to send me your GitHub, right? So GitHub is an important part of this class. And so what you need to send me is if you don't already have it, go to github.com and set up that account, and then email me through Canvas your GitHub username, and then I will add you into our course repo, but you can't do anything in this class until you have that. So that's a really important part. And then for this particular semester, I did record a new video down here at the bottom, just giving you kind of a summary of the setup that I had done. Basically the same thing here, but a little quicker, just giving you kind of some of those final steps in there. And then I do say here at the end, if for some reason you have any issues with GitHub for this first assignment, you can just use the web interface, but I don't recommend it, because whatever issues you're having, if you, not everyone will, but if you do, you need to jump over those really quickly, because by the following week, you need to figure that out, meaning this week. Okay. All right. So let me move over to here and just say, I'm excited you're here. I know that this first week can be a little daunting, because many students have come into this from my other classes and already have GitHub. So if you don't, by the way, GitHub is a basic skill these days, meaning everyone that's in this area of professional coding, programming, developing needs to have GitHub, because it is something that if you talk to other people, they're going to talk about GitHub. You're going to want to know what that is. And actually, they're going to talk about Git. They're going to talk about version control. That's what we're doing on our local computers. And what we're doing then is pushing our code to GitHub so that we can share it. Okay? So that's why I cover it in the first night of the semester, because it's an important part. And understanding how to use Git and GitHub is just, you have to get past that to go on to any of the other parts of this course. So the sooner you do that, the better. Okay? Because if you need some help, you need to reach out to me. And I think that's it. I kept saying that was it, but I think this one actually is. So nice to meet you. Some of you I know because you were in my 93 course. Some of you are new, just coming into 94. So I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, which I will either at Develop It or before that. And again, I have my schedule put out there so you can find me. I said I was going to quit. All right. Peace out. Bye.